Hello, welcome to Bob's Dungeon. My name's Bob. I'll be your host. Having a good setting for your game is pretty important. Aside from that, it's also good to look at a place where your players can go to feel at home and so forth. A place to present options to them, base of operations, if you will. That can be important too. And it could also be dramatic if such a place can be ripped out from under them. And they have to deal with problems concerning that. It should be done correctly, it should be done right. In this video, we're going to talk about a book that proposes such a thing. And the book we're going to talk about is called Obscene Serpent Religion 2 for Lamentations of the Flame Princess. This book has 32 pages and a copyright of 2018. It was published by Lamentations of the Flame Princess, and all of the artwork in this book is in black and white. It's pretty decent, so let's go ahead and look at that artwork. All of the artwork in this book is in black and white, and it's all pretty decent to look at, and does a pretty good job of showing the different locations in the non-spec hamlet. To use this book, what you're going to need is, of course, a copy of this book, a copy of the core rule book for Lamentations of the Flame Princess, and a full set of dice. A full set of dice containing a 20-sided die, a 12-sided die, preferably two 10-sided dice for rolling both percentiles and tens, an 8-sided die, a 6-sided die, and a 4-sided die. Now, this book is pretty neat. It is about a little hamlet called Non-Spec, and you could place this hamlet anywhere you want in your game, and has a map showing what the core of the hamlet, and basically the only thing there is an inn, a blacksmith, a well, a church, a cemetery. That's pretty much it. A lot of open area, and it talks about how there's farmers outside in the outskirts, but it doesn't show any of those places where the farmers live because they're out there a bit, so you can place them as you wish. And the inn in Non-Spec is placed near a very popular trade route, so it gets a lot of traffic from travelers, adventurers, traders, so forth. So it makes a good place for your characters to stop and rest for the night, or to recover, because it's right there at a crossroads heading out towards everything. So it's a reoccurring place that you can have your characters come to and feel safe. And there's enough open area. If the game master really wished, he could let the players build their own home there, because there's enough area for it, and become part of the community themselves. And this book's got some charts in it. It's got a chart that you can roll on to tell you what kind of people and how many people are in the bar are in the inn at any point in time. It's got a chart to come up with a random name for the locals, which is pretty nifty. And it's got some adventure hooks and some ideas of how to tie other scenarios from other books into this one. And it's pretty good. Very, very small book, but has a lot of information. Over halfway into the book, it comes to the name, where after the players have been gone for a while on some adventure, they come back through and things have changed. And I hate to really give us too many spoilers on a game, on an adventure, but it's kind of hard with this one because it's so small. And the name kind of gives it away. But while the players are out and about, a cult has moved in and taken over. And the players start noticing changes and have to either deal with it or run and let it be. It's up to them. And it's pretty nifty. I'm going to try not to give away too much, but the end bad guy that they could run into, if they make it that far, there isn't a lot of hope for them against this bad guy. They have some massive powers in their arsenal that the player characters couldn't even begin to expect, and can really mess them up bad. So that's the game master's choice whether they want them to run into that kind of thing or not. And that's pretty much it. It's just a small location, small adventure with a lot of hooks for others, which brings me to 3 questions. Would I play a character that using this inside this adventure? I'm going to have to say, yeah, it's a pretty decent location. It's got a pretty nifty surprise once the name of the book shows up. Would I run this adventure? I'm going to have to say, yeah. The main bad guy in the end is pretty nasty, but it wouldn't be Lamentations of Flame Princess if it didn't spring some really nasty surprises on the players. Would I recommend this book? And I'm going to say yeah. The Lamentations of the Flame Princess books usually don't disappoint me. This one is really good. It's a nice setting for the players to cross through and to visit while they're out and about. They can even set up their own shop there. And in the end, you don't have to bring forth the nasty surprise in the end, but it's recommended that you do, because after they deal with that, who knows what can happen. And the adventure is in such a way that you could easily use it in another game system, Dungeons & Dragons, Pathfinder, Dungeon Crawl Classics, what have you. It's pretty good, pretty well laid out for such a small book. And that's all I got to say for the Obscene Serpent Religion 2. Thank you for joining me and look at this book, and hopefully you'll join me next time where we'll talk about something else. Bye.